Hello, Facebook world. I am sitting here today with Eitan Morgenstern. Correct, Morgenstern?
Yes.
All right. I've only heard a bit about what Eitan is involved in, but you know me. I like to find these great people doing unbelievable, inspiring things to help and to do. And the main message is always, it's all up to us. It's all up to you. Don't wait for the leadership. It's up to you. It's up to us little people to make a big difference in the world. Eitan, how are you?
Doing well, thank you.
So you live in Armon HaNatziv. Can you explain to people what is Armon HaNatziv? Why are you living there? What's so important about what you're working on?
Sure. Abelow is a neighborhood in southeast Jerusalem, built after the Six-Day War when Jerusalem was reunified. Basically from the tail at the promenade, southeast from there is the neighborhood.
Let's give everyone a perspective. The
Right.
promenade, the Tayel that he's referring to, that's where, unfortunately, was just the car ramming attack where four IDF soldiers were killed. So that's right near where you live, right on the borderline, but where the Arab area of Jerusalem is right next to the Jewish area of Jerusalem.
Right, exactly. So we're located at the far east, the very right end of the neighborhood. We're surrounded by Jabal Mukaber and Liso and a few other Arab neighborhoods.
You face them. You face the Arab neighborhoods.
We face them. We're sort of a peninsula actually into them. Our bus stop is where the 78 bus attack happened a year and a bit ago.
Remind people, what was the 78 bus attack?
So there was, it happened in the morning. Two terrorists from Jabal Mukaber, the neighboring village, got on the bus, which is the bus stop that we use every single day. One had a gun, one had a knife, and 3 people were killed, and I think 10 or 15 were injured.
That's Richard
Lakin.
Richard Lakin was one of the people who was murdered in that terror attack.
So it was a pretty difficult day for our neighborhood, and for us, we actually had the head of our Garin was involved in it, in the sense that in the attack of stopping it.
Really?
Yeah, he was driven that morning to return a book to the library at the local library community center, and heard something happening. It's about maybe 300 feet from our house, it's not further than that. He drove over there and saw one of the terrorists trying to get in the bus driver's seat. Meaning he understood they were going to try to drive the bus into the neighborhood and then
do even more damage.
Yes. So he blocked the bus with his car, terrorists came out, tried to hurt him, attack him obviously, only had a knife, so he was able to escape into his car. Then he went back in to get the gun from the other terrorist. And thank God at that moment the police had shown up and neutralized both terrorists. So that was a very, I would say, a difficult but also galvanizing experience for the neighborhood and the Garin, which I'm part of, which we'll talk about.
Okay, yeah. So Eitan keeps on mentioning Jonathan Feltzing saying, stay still, stay down under. Wonderful, Jonathan. That's lacha. Eitan keeps on mentioning Garin. All right, for those of us who understand the Lashon, the language he's talking about. Eitan, you're part of how many families? 6 families.
6 families.
Right?
Yes.
So one of 6 families, you're married, children?
Yeah, 3 children, thank God.
3 children. So him and his wife and their 3 children live in a community with 4,000?
Around 4,000 people in our area of the neighborhood. The whole neighborhood is about 18,000 people, and our area is one of 3 areas, around 4,000 or 5,000.
Okay, so it's an area of 4,000 or 5,000 people, and Eitan is there with another 5 families trying to make a difference in the community.
Right.
So what type of difference are you trying to make? And more importantly, why? Why are you and 5 other families living there to make a difference in this community? Why is it needed?
So I'll start with the second part.
Go for it.
We see Jerusalem was liberated 50 years ago. This year we're marking that. But in a lot of ways, Jerusalem has not become a unified city. There's still areas that are significant areas that Jews can't go there. There's Judenrein. And we believe, while there are places like, Har Zaitim or Nov Tzion, which are sort of settlements, right? Jewish settlements in the areas, the Arab areas of the city, which are an important aspect of making the city a Jewish unified city. We're actually focused in an area that already is essentially a Jewish area, but it's sort of under attack, not only as far as terror attacks, but slowly, the whole environment there feels unsafe for people. You have people from the neighboring neighborhoods.
Unsafe from neighboring Arabs.
Yeah, they're walking around. We know a family that moved out, I think about 4 or 5 months ago, because they were afraid for their kids to be able to go to the playground by themselves or walk from the bus. And these were teenagers, not little kids, but the environment didn't feel comfortable. Other parts of the neighborhood have daily fire bombings from the neighboring village. It's a place that has a lot of potential and great people, but they sort of need a little bit of a tiny spark to build the community into a strong community. What we see ourselves as doing is saying, okay, we have a lot of great people here, but a lot of them feel that their home ends at their apartment door rather than their building or the surrounding area. And we want to help build a community that feels connected and feels like they can handle anything that comes at them, essentially, and make it a strong area. So that's sort of our overarching goal as a Garin Torani in Armona Netziv.
Yes, and we were talking before, so you look at French Hill community
Right.
as a community where anyone not familiar with the French Hill was a Jewish neighborhood, also close to the Arab neighborhoods of Jerusalem, but little by little more and more Arabs are coming and moving in,
Right.
and it's becoming less safe community.
Right.
And you guys are trying to ensure that this doesn't happen to your community of Armon Netziv.
Right.
So then my question is, why you? Why have you and your wife and your other 5 families you could live anywhere. You could join us in Efrat. You can go to Modi'in. You can go to Beit Shemesh. You can live in Tel Aviv. You don't have to worry about these problems. Yet you and your wife and these other 5 families have taken upon yourselves the responsibility to help a community in Israel and in Jerusalem be that much happier and safer for everyone there to protect it.
Right.
Why?
So what's nice about our group of families is actually 2 of the families, including mine and my wife, are from the neighborhood. So it's we lived other places before, but the idea came from people who are living there. So it's built sort of really grassroots from people who are part of the community or part of the people who are living there already. And we said, this is a neighborhood that I feel now is mine for living there, and also because I'm married into the community essentially, and we didn't want to give up on it. I've always felt, I come from the U.S. I made Aliyah about 8 years ago, and I've always wanted to go on shlichut. An opportunity hasn't come to go to America or somewhere else for shlichut, and here's an opportunity to do it here in Israel. Right. There's so many ways people help. Like I mentioned before, Har Zeitim or Tzion, or a million places that Jewish people are fighting to build up the land of Israel. And we found a place that we felt that wasn't being dealt with properly, and we could do more to change and improve the area.
Right. First of all, I love that message. Just the message. JJ Sussman says, "What a great guy. Eitan knows what he's doing."
Hi, JJ.
Talk about the Intifada. So just the message that. Again, we're using the Hebrew terminology of shlichut, or to how do we say that in
Emissary,
English?
But
emissary. Yeah. How do you say shlichut in English, folks? Shlichut meaning to get I'll do it like this: step out of your comfort zone and go out to help the greater community,
right?
Or whatever, where it's the greater world or the greater community. You're not focusing just on yourself and your own needs and your own family. You're going out to help others,
right? And
you're really doing this on a day-to-day basis. Like you don't have to go somewhere else in order to help the world.
Right.
You could be doing it within your own community. The needs are right there, and you and your fellow friends and your wife are doing it in your own community, helping Jerusalem, helping Israel. That's wonderful. All right, so you're off to New York tomorrow.
Yes.
Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going to be talking? Where can people hear you? What are you talking about? Why should they bring out their friends to hear you?
So I'll be in New York and New Jersey most of the time, in Teaneck, in the city, in 5 towns, the Bronx. I'll be in Highland Park for Shabbat, actually speaking to a few shuls. So anybody in Highland Park, happy to see you at any of the main shuls there. Basically what I'm talking about is sort of what's sort of under the radar. A lot of times we hear about the big stories, right? We hear about Israel's struggle versus Iran or the UN or whatever it may be. And we hear about the maybe medium-sized struggles, right? Itzar or Itamar or the rocks being thrown at Tekoa, things that make it a little bit into the news, but not much. But what we're talking about is stuff that almost is never in the news, except for the major attack that happened last 2 weeks ago with the truck ramming, or a year and a half ago or so with the 78 bus. But there's a daily struggle, and it's a daily, I would say, battle going on for Jerusalem. Meaning, 50 years ago, the first military success to liberate the city happened, but it's a day-to-day struggle to make sure that we sort of take it to the end, to the finish line of making Jerusalem a city. It's first of all safe for the Jewish people to be anywhere, and moving towards making it the center of the world in every way possible. So people understand that's the source, that's the strength, and if we can't win here, we're not going to win anywhere else. I think. So we have to dedicate ourselves to that mission. That's what we're talking about how it's the microcosm of our whole struggle to build a Jewish state in the land of Israel.
Right, and by strengthening Jerusalem. Right. So, Ellie Klein, go Eitan. Pin Partners is behind you. What I was going to say. All right, so first of all, you're in Highland Park. You're in New York, New Jersey area. Contact Ellie. Contact Eitan. But one thing Eitan is not mentioning, and I'll clarify for all of you, right now, Eitan and his wife and the 5 other families, they are basically, together, your 6 families have just organized, like, ad hoc together to do this. You have no organization, no organization, no funding. You're just doing this and running programs in the community to strengthen the community. Now they're looking to take it to the next level, and you're going on this trip to let the world know about what you're doing and try to reach out for support to help you make this more organizational with the funding and the resources behind it to do what you're doing and do even more to help your community and help Jerusalem. So, folks, contact Eitan. If you're in Israel, contact Eitan. If you're in Yerushalayim, contact Eitan. If you need what he's doing in your communities, no matter where you are in Israel and Jerusalem, listen, your story is an inspiring one, and it shows you, like, when things happen around you, you don't run away from them. You're dealing with them and trying to take it as a challenge and make the situation that much better.
Right.
So, Yasher Koach, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, that's the Charabah.
Thank you very much.
If you're in the New York, New Jersey area, then go check it out and contact him on Facebook. You want to give an email address or contact
It's
on
a long
Facebook?
email address. You can go to our website. Our website is garinoz, GARINOZ.org. And you can connect with me there, and I'm happy to speak anywhere to anybody about what we're doing.
Great. So I'll add it also. garinoz.org.
Yes.
Wonderful. All right, I'll put it in the thing. Take care, everyone. Batzlacha. Be inspired by people like Eitan. Shalom from Jerusalem.